Alright, what's up YouTube? We have another update number 4 for me. I've been doing this the last few days in a row. So I study maths and physics at my university. I'm not an expert on this. Just want to throw that out there. I just enjoy studying pandemics, vaccines, thresholds between getting rid of polio, that sort of thing. Different diseases, so I find that really enjoyable for some reason, and that's why I study math and physics and a little bit of chemistry and biology here and there. So US has its first death, which was in King County. I used to live in that area in SeaTac in Seattle, and Washington State. If you're not from the US, that's right by Vancouver, Canada. That's basically the most northwestern part of the US, beyond Alaska, obviously, of the continental US specifically. So first death in the US, the number of cases have went up by 7 from 64 in the last 24 hours, from 64 to 71, 11% jump basically. We have a small community. It looks very likely that we have a small community in Washington, an elderly community in Washington where this is spreading pretty quickly, and that as we know, the elderly and the very young, but more so the elderly, are more susceptible to die from this virus. So the coronavirus, that's what this is all about, obviously. So US has its first case, and also 2 other countries have their first cases, Australia and Thailand. So 3 new countries are on the death toll list, basically. So in the last 24 hours, the number of confirmed cases outside of China has went up 16.33%. The number of deaths outside of China in the last 24 hours has went up 12.24% from the coronavirus. And the last week, the number of confirmed cases outside of China has went up 200. This is an increase outside of China. Confirmed cases increased 261.98%. The death toll outside of China in the last week has increased 336%. So more on the U.S., the Surgeon General says that, the Surgeon General of the U.S., Federal Surgeon General, says that the masks that people are getting, these surgical masks and the masks in general, are basically useless. No reason to get them. I have some. I work with wood and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna hold anyone against. I'm not gonna hold anything against anyone for using them, but just putting it out there. The Surgeon General says that they're basically useless, or he says explicitly that they are useless. So that's basically the gist of what's going on. We now have over 3,500 cases, confirmed cases in South Korea. Like I said yesterday, Japan, that's what the Olympics are this year, in July and early to mid-August, from that time frame. The Olympics are going to be in Japan, and they are closing down their schools. All their public schools in Japan, as far as I know, are closed down for a month at least. And we talked about the school yesterday. That's going to be closed down much of this week, now that it's Sunday, until Wednesday or Thursday, for a worker at the school. I don't know if it's a teacher, a janitor, or what, an advisor, something like that. They are shutting down the school, but someone that works there got the virus, and that's in an elementary school in Oregon. Like I said before, the stock market has went down 9.74% since it opened Monday till when it closed on Friday. With the first U.S. death, if it wasn't on a Saturday, I can only imagine that it would slam down rather quickly. And that's probably where it'll open. It'll probably be a huge decline. I'm talking about the Dow Jones has decreased by 9.74% last week. So I think the middle of this week, since it's Sunday, until somewhere between the middle of next week, or I should say the middle of this week, between the middle of this week and sometime next week, that might be a great time to buy the stock market if you have the money. But the biggest priority is taking care of your family and yourself. So that means medication, fluids, calories, hygiene, and just make sure you have an energy source, like maybe a kerosene heater, batteries, that sort of thing. So right now, there's no reason to get 3 months supplies worth of calories and fluids. I always have a lot of water here anyways. I have a few kids and an old lady that, and I have 8 gallons of water, for instance. You can get by with 3 cups of water a day if you're a healthy adult, and you'll be perfectly fine. You can get by with, I would assume, as little as 800 calories a day, and you'll be fine, which, I stocked up on a few things. Medication is most significant in my opinion. And medication doesn't expire for at least a year generally. So right now, medication-wise, you want to basically get medication where, medication that can handle a fever, a high fever, that can handle, that can make you feel better, bring down a fever, and medication that you would also use for if you got pneumonia, because 18 to 20% of cases for the coronavirus end up in severe to critical condition, with 2 to 3%, as far as we know, ending up in death. So medication is key right now. I am of the mindset that prepare for different case scenarios. For instance, if it doesn't come to your town, you have food, you have medicine that you're going to use anyways, and you're good. Worst case scenario is you get it, everyone in your household gets it. You want to have the medication available, because you don't want to have a case in your town and then have to be a reactionary, and go to your supermarket and get all this stuff, because the reaction to the virus can be worse than the actual virus. You can actually get it from the reaction to the virus. We see what happens on Black Friday. Imagine that happens, tenfold, 12-fold with elderly people there getting crushed and stuff like that, because Americans are crazy and people in general are crazy. So just something to think about. I think it's better be prepared. I mean, not just for this coronavirus, but just in general. If you're in California, there can always be a power outage from a earthquake or that sort of thing. If you're in Florida, you got hurricanes. In Louisiana, I had to deal with Katrina. So just something to think about. All right. Subscribe if you want. I'd like to continue doing these updates. Let me know how everything's going with you all.